we're breaking down the exact winter camping gear that earns every ounce you carry up the mountain, and the popular stuff that just weighs you down and lets you freeze. You'll learn which sleeping pad keeps you warm off frozen ground, why your fancy tent might be the thing that soaks you at 3 a.m., and the one small item that quietly saves your fingers. Here's the rule that decides everything. In winter, gear is worth its weight only if it keeps you warm, dry, or alive. Everything else is dead weight, and dead weight makes you sweat, and sweat in the cold can kill you. Start with the thing most people ignore, the sleeping pad. Frozen ground pulls heat straight out of your body all night long, and no sleeping bag can stop that if the cold is coming up from below. Look for a pad with a high R value. That's just a number that tells you how well it blocks cold from the ground. In deep winter, you want an R value of at least 5, anything less, and the ground wins. Here's the trick that earns double weight. Stack a cheap foam pad under your air pad. The foam adds warmth for almost no weight, and if your air pad pops in the night, the foam still saves you. Now, the mistake that soaks people at 3 a.m.? The tent. Your breath and body heat turn to water on the cold tent walls all night, and by morning your bag is damp and freezing. The fix feels wrong, but it works. Crack the vents open even when it's freezing. Letting a little cold air flow through carries your wet breath out before it can turn to frost inside your tent. Your sleeping bag is where you should spend real weight, not save it. A bag rated 10 degrees colder than the night you expect gives you room to survive a surprise cold snap. Down is lighter and warmer for its weight, but it turns useless when it gets wet. Synthetic is heavier, yet it still keeps you warm even soaked. So in wet, snowy places, the heavier bag earns its weight. For clothes, forget one giant coat. 3 thin layers trap warm air between them and let you peel off pieces before you sweat. Because sweat freezes and freezing sweat steals your heat. Whatever you do, leave the cotton at home. Cotton soaks up sweat and snow and never dries, and wet cotton against your skin can freeze you fast. Water is heavy, but in winter it earns its place. Because if it freezes solid, you can't drink it. An insulated bottle carried upside down keeps the drinking end from icing shut. Since water freezes from the top first, your stove can turn from a helper into dead weight in the cold. Normal gas canisters lose their power when they get freezing, so the flame you need for hot food and melted snow barely lights. The gear that earns its weight here is a canister that uses winter fuel, or a liquid fuel stove that fires up in deep cold, and keeping the canister inside your jacket for a few minutes before you cook wakes it right back up. Winter nights are long and dark, so your headlamp matters more than in summer. But cold drains batteries fast, so carry spares and keep them warm in a pocket close to your body. Now the small item that quietly saves your fingers? A pair of thin liner gloves under your big mittens. When you need to tie a knot or light a stove, you slip off the mittens and your fingers still have a warm layer between them and the frozen metal. Toss in a couple of cheap hand warmers too. They weigh almost nothing, and one tucked into your sleeping bag by your feet can turn a shivering night into a solid sleep. Normal tent stakes are useless in snow. They pull right out, and your tent flies away in a night wind. Wide snow stakes, or even sticks buried sideways in the snow, hold your tent down when the storm hits. One last cheap winner, a small foam sit pad. Sitting straight on snow chills you in seconds, but a scrap of foam under your backside keeps that cold from creeping in while you rest and eat. Pack the warm stuff where you can reach it fast, because fumbling in the dark with numb hands wastes the heat you're trying to save. Keep spare gloves, your headlamp, and a warmer near the top. Do all this and your pack gets lighter and smarter at the same time, because every piece now earns the weight it costs you. That's the whole game in winter. Carry less junk, stay warmer, sleep better, because out here, the only gear that truly earns its weight is the gear that gets you home. Everything else is just a fancy way to freeze in style. If you found this helpful, be sure to hit the subscribe button and I'll catch you in the next one.